Hey everybody, how you doing out there tonight? I am so excited. I got Kathy from KWalkOMedy here, and we're gonna have a creator meetup night. She's gonna tell us her origin story and tell her how she got started with content creation, and this is gonna be a fun night. So thank you so much for being here, because if you miss it live, you're missing it. So let's go, and let's shout out to Kathy. How are you doing tonight?
Woo! I am all good, and it is great to be here.
I'm so excited. I know we met in person at Creator Camp, and I was like, oh man, it's gonna be great, you know. And I said to Kathy, I gotta get Kathy on as a guest. And then finally one night I was in the chat on your show. I said, I gotta get you on my show. He said, I'm ready. Let's do it. So, yeah, just fantastic to have you on here. I get such a huge kick out of watching your show. Definitely, in case you guys don't know this, Kathy and her brother do. Um, suddenly pop culture kids. My
Pop culture
brain,
kids.
suddenly my brain said, I don't know what we're talking about. So pop culture kids, where she and her brother talk about different pop culture. And what's your age difference between you and your brother?
2 years actually, and
Yeah,
what's odd about it is the dividing line between baby boomer and Gen X.
yeah.
I'm 64 and he is 66.
Wow. So that's cool. Yep. Mommy God says no audio. Hey y'all. Everybody out there
No
in chat
audio?
land. Nope, nope. We're good. I think we're good. I think Lala's not having audio. I think we have audio.
Okay. All right.
Anybody in chat give me a confirmation. Lala's saying no audio. Hopefully she's the only one that's not having audio, because we did have audio problem before we started, but we seem to be good
Right.
now. So anyway,
Right.
yeah.
'Cause
Um,
I'm used to controlling all the buttons on my Ecamm Live and not coming in on somebody else's Ecamm feed.
Lala fixed it. She said her audio was on mute, so she's good now.
Oh, okay. You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on
I
mute.
don't have
Yep.
any of my Ecamm mugs.
So, part of our show, whenever we have creator meetups, we have three questions, and so the first one, I always find that people love origin stories. How did you get started with YouTube content creation? What said, "Hey, let's make stuff"? Tell us about that journey. How'd you get here?
Well, and again, I think at my heart or at my core, I've always been, I think, a bit of a performer, whether it was doing stand-up comedy or community theater. So the performer part of me, I think, was always there. As far as content creation, I actually looked back at my channel, which was 12 years ago. I really didn't create. I did like some like quotes and different things that I could use in my classroom to kind of calm the middle school savages. But mainly it started during the pandemic when everybody was kind of on lockdown. And I discovered this world of streaming and got into different forums and tried the Vlogmas and just found, oh, wait, this kind of combines some of the things I like to do, whether it is teaching or performing. So this is like a perfect fit. And at the time, me living in North Carolina, my brother in New Jersey, uh, you know, we were kind of separated during the pandemic and everybody inside. And my brother's way more social than I am. So this became a way for us to kind of communicate and bond. So that's how we started doing our podcast together. And we kind of grew up on cable TV and MTV and old HBO movies. So talking about pop culture, just it was just a go-to for us. Throughout the 90s, when I lived in New York, we would leave each other voicemail messages that usually were just a line from a movie. So basically, you had to call the other back with the title of the movie. So I have tons of back in the days when you had like messages on tape. If
Yeah,
you can remember those days,
yeah, I
yours.
do. I do. I
I would come home from work and there'd be a message on my voicemail. I want my $2. So and again, that's pop culture is kind of the language my brother and I speak. So it was just a natural process for us to actually do a show and talk pop culture.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this thought goes to my head. I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna say it now. No, no, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Me and your brother agree. Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Oh, I should have known that was coming. Oh, because the bane of the pop culture kids is the fact that half the people who watch or support us, like Ed, we call them our pop culture kids. It, they,
Yeah.
they say Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It is not, but okay.
Okay.
I,
Hey,
I'm starting a weekend. I know. I'm eventually going to start watching it at Christmas time.
there's okay. Never mind. I was gonna say there's more references to Christmas in Die Hard than there are
Uh,
in Love
oh
Actually.
no! You know what's even worse? I think my brother's in the chat tonight, so and he's
It'll
yelling,
be all right.
"Yes,
It'll
it
be all
is
right. It'll
a
be all right.
Christmas
All right. All
movie.
right.
It
Let's
is not. Oh, don't be fooled. Please
yeah.
don't be fooled."
Let's check out. We got a crowd out here tonight. So hey, Florence, how you doing tonight? Let's go.
Oh,
We'll be
Florence is
fun.
here.
Yep.
And you know what? For all the bad that we got out of the pandemic and COVID and everything else, but I think the great has been streaming and the
Yeah.
online communities um, that have developed. Because even though Mama Lala wasn't at Creator Camp, she sent just the most precious little gifts and treats to some of the friends that, again, we've built up in this
Yeah.
online community of getting to know people IRL as well as
Yeah.
online. So I think that's just been, I think, a blessing that people, I think, might tend to forget that it has connected more people, especially in a time when sometimes we are so disconnected and divided on things.
Yeah. Definitely. I couldn't agree more. The online community has been fantastic. Uh, Florence out there. La la. Good day, friends. Hi, Roy and Kathy. Hi, Florence. No audio, so she figured it out. It was she had YouTube muted. So,
Ah,
hi, Stuart. Laura. Hey, Roy and Kathy. Hey. Oops. Sorry. It was just the audio. It was just YouTube was on mute. Sorry. Hi, Laura. Hey, Florence. We're good. Mommy God. We hear you. Awesome. Viewer error.
awesome.
Audio's good. Hi, Matt. Yeah, I love it. Everybody comes in and says hi. Such a great bunch. All these folks out here. Stuart, yeah, saying hi to Matt. Thanks, friends, for being here. It's awesome to see you, Roy and Kathy. Yep. Please don't forget to share and hit the like button. Yeah, thanks. I thank you, Lala. Lala is one of my moderators, so she's she tries to keep me honest here, as much as that's possible here. So, anyway. Let's see. Wait, who's this guy? Who's that guy? Kenny K. Walker Jr., spoken word artist. Hi, guys. Yeah.
My
Hi,
brother,
Kenny. Yes.
the
Oh,
other half
yes.
of my pop culture kids.
Oh, yes. I was there in the chat during the show. I mean, yes, to Die Hard is a Christmas movie. So I don't know if Lala agreed to that originally. I think she came around to it. I kept talking about it. So,
You
um,
know, my resolve is being broken down, and I'm going to have to. I don't know whether I'm going to admit it on a live stream, but
no, no, you should stick to your stance. You really shouldn't. No,
no.
stick to
It's a
your
Wonderful
limits.
Life. That's a Christmas movie. Die Hard is not, people. It's
Yeah, but if you
not.
if you think about It's a Wonderful Life, there's so little Christmas in It's a Wonderful Life.
But the message, it's
The
all about the
message is
message.
definitely a Christmas message. I agree, but there's only so much Christmas in It's a Wonderful
Hans
Life.
Gruber falling from Nakatomi Tower is not is not a part of the
They've got
Christmas
some great
message.
Christmas ornaments for him. But anyway, all right. So, as part of this creation journey, I know, like myself, I've run into a lot of challenges. What are some challenges that you have run? And the whole point we have here is so other creators can learn. Anybody that's been scared to push that record button or hit that go live button, look, we're not perfect. We're not
Oh
perfect. And
no.
so, Kathy, what's some challenges that you've had in your live streaming journey or your content creation journey?
Well, I know for my content creation journey, because I know for the pop culture kids, we do it on Sunday nights. And I mean, we've had like just fails and problems with audio and echo and just all kinds of crazy things. But I think what keeps us going it is because my brother and I are able to bond, and we keep that at the heart, our relationship at the heart of what we do. So that kind of keeps that going. For my own channel, I've just struggled trying to find a niche, trying to find the people to serve, because there's so many different areas that I have passion about, whether it is as an educator and wanting to share my knowledge, having been a teacher and an administrator, whether it's just the things I'm passionate about. I was doing some cleaning recently and I found these old wireless microphones and some film, like a projector film. And I realized that I am a gadget hoarder, and I got it honestly from both my father and grandfather. So, I have passion about tech and gadgety things, but I'm also a bizarre, weird X File fan. So I, it's just I have so many different passions and interests, whether it is comedy or DJing or the things I've done, that I haven't figured out my niche and who I need to serve and who I need to show up for. My problem is I have SDs full of things I've recorded and things I've tried, but I find editing to be a big challenge. And I know there are people who like outsource that, but I'm just not at a place financially where I'm ready to outsource, where I have a channel that's big enough to outsource. So I think I find editing to be a challenge. I like the new trend for small channels that just kind of talk into the microphone and just get the points out and just bring it across without all the fancy editing and highlights. I was really inspired by your series where you just jumped in the car and just laid it out and just, gave your thoughts in the morning. I thought that was great. My brother actually is pretty good about that. He gives a positive and productive word each morning where, again, once he gets to work, he parks his car, he, just talks for about 3 to 5 minutes and gives his positive word of the day, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's I need to go check that out. Yeah, I'm still doing that. I moved it to a different channel because it got to the
Oh,
point where it was. If you went to my channel, that's all you saw, and then you're like, I don't know what you do on your channel. My channel, I have a habit. I'm like you. I still struggle with my niche. I right now I lean very heavily toward content creation tips. If YouTube
mhm.
comes out with something new, I try to figure it out before everybody else does and say, hey, this is how you use this on YouTube. And then, everything I did on my journey to try to get to 1,000 subscribers, and any mistake I make, I share that with folks and say, hey, this is what I did. I messed up. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm trying to get away from perfection. Perfection ruins me because I am a trap perfectionist. So, um, yeah, I mean, definitely. So, I mean, so how did you end up and say, look, let's do the pop culture kids? Since that was something, I guess that was something that you did already, but you said that would make a good show.
And again, because it was organic, or it was something that my brother and I could spend hours talking about the different movies that we love and enjoyed from like the 80s and 90s and even the TV shows of the 70s. So it was something that we were comfortable with, and as well as music, because in addition to um, being a spoken word artist, my brother has also been a DJ. So this whole idea of kind of performing, a love of music and entertainment, has kind of been something that we've grown up on. So it just seemed like a natural flow and a natural transition for us to talk about pop culture as opposed to politics or anything else more specific. I just kicked something under my desk. Who knows? Um, if you heard a bang, but it just it seems like some of the conversations that we would have just felt like a natural flow onto our live stream show, and something that we can convert into a podcast. And we've been fortunate enough to partner with a friend of my brother's so that we actually are broadcast on the radio in
Mm.
select markets, like I believe in South Jersey and outside of Chicago, as well as outside of Atlanta, on a network called Who's Got Next Radio. So
Wow.
it's been pretty cool in that respect that it gets us some exposure to that end.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Not that
That's
people listen to the radio anymore, but hey, if
what's
they
radio?
do.
I still listen to radio in the car. So anyway, Lala was saying she had decided Die Hard was a Christmas movie. And of course, your brother said it is, and then Lala said
Oh,
she was Team Kenny for that
Lala,
show.
don't let them sway you. Don't let
But of
they're
course,
trying to sway me because so many people I encounter really believe that, and they're so wrong. They're so wrong. No, it's an action film. Bruce
it's
Willis
true.
himself said it is not a Christmas movie, so
I don't believe him. But anyway, um, yeah. Then she said, "But of course, I love you, Kathy. Right?" Anyway,
oh, I love you
Philip.
too.
Hey, how
I
you doing tonight? Hi, Philip. Hey, hi, Philip. Everybody saying hi to each other. I love that. Yep. Home. Yeah, I meant to write. Okay.
See,
Do
that's
live
what always
streams.
happens. My brother comes into the scene. He's my younger brother,
Yeah.
and he just wins people over with his charm and his ways. And now he's got people believing something so wrong. And you know,
Lala says, Do live streams of perfection? It will definitely go out the window. It is a great way to recover from it because there's no way one can get perfection in live streams. We just go on with the flow. So yeah,
I, I think that's the fun of live stream, and
it is.
for those creators who only do like recorded content, they might want to
Yeah,
challenge themselves to a live stream because to me, it seems like as content creation delves, people delve deeper into AI and we get
yeah,
more kind of created content, that it will be the live streams when people can talk and connect and build those relationships.
yeah,
I think that is going to be the next wave of the future. So for those folks who are on the fence about live streaming, I would definitely urge them to give it a try. And because I think that is going to be where where people go in the future. Like it won't always be the big fancy polished Mr. Beast videos or the AI generated
yeah,
content, that it'll be people making those live connections in the comments and where to me where the fun happens.
yeah. Now, somebody Stewart shouted out about X Files. Okay, I want to know why you thought watching X Files was strange. Why do you think that? That's not strange.
Oh, no, it's a little nerdy. I got that nerdy side of me,
And
and
what's wrong with that?
what is weird is I came from a family full of Trekkies, and they were all big Star Trek
Yeah.
fans, and I was not a big Star Trek fan, although I am a big Next Generation fan, I will say
Mm,
that. So I do have that nerd gene, but I was never into sci-fi, but since the X Files and shows
yeah.
like Buffy and the Hunger Games books and
Oh
the
yeah.
whole Twilight. Well, again, I've been in public education for 23 years
Yeah.
in middle school primarily, so I had to read like all the Twilight books
All
because
the young
that's
lit
what my
books.
kids were
Yeah.
into. But so I've slowly but surely become this sci-fi fan and a little bit of a geek. So my ultimate is going to be to make it to a San Diego Comic Con one of these days.
Oh, that would be a blast. Yeah. Stuart says X Files. Mommy says gas. I think she's talking about gear acquisition syndrome. We must have
Oh,
spawned something
yeah.
about that.
Oh,
And Mad
I
Haas is posting aliens and flying saucers.
oh wait, Matt. Oh, that's right. Awesome, funny things. Hold on for a second.
Yeah. Yeah. There
Just
you
a
go.
reminder out there, if you haven't hit the like
Hit that like
subscribe
button. Yeah.
button.
Yep. That was Matt's gift to everybody at camp. So that was
At
awesome. Yeah.
Creator Camp, that was awesome.
She says editing is still something that she struggles with, Mommy Guide. So,
Oh yeah, it's the editing, and maybe that's and I use Final Cut Pro, and I know there are other editors like DaVinci Resolve, which is
Yeah.
free, or CapCut. But because I am Mac, and we're Mac because we're
Hmm.
Ecamm fam, um, I still don't feel like I've mastered Final Cut Pro. And I think what that perfectionism gets me caught up with
Yeah.
editing too, because I have in my head what I want to do, but I don't have in my skill set what I'm able to do. So that editing can be a bear, but I have so much video and so much footage that I know I need to go in and just, make some hard edits, because I think
Yeah.
there is value in some of the things I want to share, but I let that perfection gene, like, just block
You
me.
you
And
got to give yourself grace.
I do, and
Yeah.
it's hard, and I'm listening to Doc, and he's
Hmm.
telling he's saying to get that message out there, and I'm still holding it back. I feel myself holding it back. Part of it, I'm thinking, "Oh, I'll do it when I retire. I'll do it when I retire." Well, that's less than 365 days away from me. So I'd like to actually start getting it out now, so that I can, when I retire, I can have it running like a much better, well-oiled machine, to share what I wanna share.
And your brother says the shame you don't have your comedy content on film to show everybody. He says you are hilarious, and he says he's cracking up.
Oh,
So
from his, typing fingers to God's ears. But I actually did stand-up comedy for a good, 7 of the 13 years that I was in New York. I didn't go to New York City to do comedy, but I
yeah.
wound up, meeting up with someone and actually trying it. Of course, I tried it on one of the roughest stages in New York at the Uptown Comedy Club,
Wow.
where if they didn't like you or didn't think you were funny, not only did they boo you, they would probably hurl things at you.
Wow.
I once played a club called Terminal D that was out by the airport, so it was where
Mm.
all the airport workers and police officers used to hang out, and let's just say it was a rough room. And when they
Wow.
weren't doing comedy, I think they had dancers of sorts.
Mm.
Anytime you have a stage and
Yeah.
between you and the audience is a well where the bartenders are walking around, it's not the classiest joint, but, basically, if you weren't funny, they had a big old bell in the back that they would bang a
Wow.
gong on to move you off stage. And unfortunately, I do have footage of my comedy, one of my comedy performances that actually got me work, at colleges, believe it or not. For up and coming comics at one point in the '90s, you got more work, from colleges
Yeah.
than you did from clubs. I go to
Oh
the
yeah. The
comic
college
strip or
circuit.
Caroline's, I get $10 maybe to do, like, 20, 30 minutes. I go to a college, I'd get, like, $1,000 for, like, 20 minutes work. But,
Wow.
and yeah, at one point, I did have, like, a agent and booked me in colleges and everything. I have the same agent as Jeff Durham. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a comedian that works with the puppets
Yeah.
and stuff. Anyway,
I
we
kill
had the
you,
same,
Ahmed, and all them.
yeah, comedy agent. But in any case, my one tape is on VHS.
Yeah.
And with all the gadgets and junk in my house, I actually do have a VHS player, but I'm scared to put a VHS in it because I don't it might get eaten up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Well,
probably should I probably have it converted to DVD, but
there's
maybe
some
it's best
services
that
out
comedy
there for like
routine dies in the
$9 a
'90s.
tape. They'll convert it for you. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I
If
think
you
it's
wouldn't
best
let it
it
out of your
dies,
possession, that'd be the part I'd have a problem with.
because I would hate to be, especially, being an educator, I would hate to be doing stand-up comedy nowadays, because kids can consult the internet and find those videotapes, and, ooh, that would not be good. I'd
That's
never
okay.
get
You
control
got
of the
another year. You
classroom
can go
back
back on
after
the road.
that.
Sorry about that. I was gonna say you got a year. You can go back out on the road.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know if I could survive comedy in this day and age. People are a little too sensitive for my taste, but
Mm. Yeah, it's tough. But I mean, comedy is the closest we come to having a mirror that reflects the real world. To be able to say things in comedy that people just can't say to each other, and
Oh,
so
definitely. My comedy trilogy, the three
mhm,
comics that I kind of admired the most when I was performing were Lenny Bruce,
yeah,
um, George Carlin,
yeah,
and Richard Pryor. And I
yeah,
think the thing that I liked about all three of them is the truth in their humor. Like they would take the nugget or the kernel of something that was like true or factual and kind of flip it on its head, and they kind of were rooted in their like real life experiences. So they were kind of some of my comedy gods. But that is kind of my MO. When I was into comedy, I read probably everybody from Fred Allen to Joan
mhm,
Rivers to every comedy bio and biography I can get my hands on to just kinda absorb and get into the mind of a comic, and it was a fun time. But
yeah.
nowadays, I don't know whether you could be canceled too quickly and
True. Yeah. There's a lot of folks out there. Let's catch up on the chat here and let's see what everybody's
okay.
talking about. Let's see. We look for relatability and authenticity. Amen to that. And your brother says, yes, we are going to San Diego. Tora's in the house.
Oh,
Hey,
Tora!
yay, Tora. Hey, everyone. Matt Haas, yeah. Hugh the Man. Whit Prophet, how you doing? Matt's products everywhere. Yep. Hey, Whit. Don't worry, Kathy. I use Final Cut Pro daily, and I'm still not an expert at Final Cut. uh, your brother says you do a great job on the technical end, keeping us going. So that's good. Yep.
Yeah.
I never realized how hard comedy is. It ain't easy. No, it isn't. Yeah, she's the funny one. I'm the straight man. Your brother said. That's
Oh
awesome.
gosh.
I have
No,
always
I think it's the
wanted
other
to
way
do
around.
comedy. I've always wanted to do comedy. I always wanted to go and do an open mic night.
Oh, you should, you
I've
should,
never done it.
and actually, the one thing I would, stress for any creator here, and I actually heard Doc mention it in one of his videos, but I think an improv class
Hmm.
I did an improv class back when I was doing comedy, and it kinda opened my mind up to
Hmm.
just that freedom or just to make you feel more relaxed and comfortable, and I think for creators, especially those who might be camera shy and afraid, to put themselves
Yeah.
out there, taking a not comedy class, well, maybe even a comedy class, but an improv class, I think it really frees you up, and not even just for your on-camera presence, but even just in your life, just giving you, um, just that flexibility to kinda go with the flow, to yes and to things, and
Right.
not turn away to opportunities, so I highly, highly recommend an improv class. And if you look at your local community theaters, or if you're lucky to have a community college nearby, I am sure you can find a reasonable, and by reasonable, I'm talking cheaper than buying that new lens or mic that's going to change everything for your content creation. Under 200 bucks, you could probably get a nice 6 to 8 week improv class.
Hmm.
And if worse comes to worse, I would even recommend Toastmasters
Yeah.
as a way to help improve not just your speaking voice, but just your presence and confidence as far as getting up in front of people and delivering a speech. I found Toastmasters to be a very, very, very helpful
Hmm.
way to work on public speaking and to get more comfortable in front of a mic, in front of a camera, whatever it is.
Yeah. That's great advice. Miss Denise in the house. Homemaking with Denise. Hi, Roy and guest. Sorry I'm late here now.
Okay.
Taurus says, how much scripting versus improv goes into your episodes? So, Kathy, how much scripting versus improv goes into your episodes?
I think for our show, Pop Culture Kids, it's 100% improv. Well, I would say to a certain point, as far as scripting, what we do on our Sunday nights, we've spend the first maybe 15 to 20 minutes of the show going over pop culture news. And by that, usually Kenny kind of cultivates all the news items that we might talk about for a given day. And then whatever our topic is, we will we usually do it in kind of a listicle form. If we're talking about like our top 5 favorite Tom Hanks movies, or if we're doing a show about, I don't know, neo soul music, whatever our topic is, we usually try to break it down into a list so that we can talk about whatever that pop culture topic is, and what we relate to, and what we might remember from either a movie or music, movies, and TV are what we mainly focus on. But as far as our live stream, where it's not very scripted, and most live streams aren't, just like even for today, you provided me with like a run of show, and usually you have a set order of what you want to do things in. Um, whether you have an intro and, segment one, segment two, segment three. So I think for the most part, I think live streams kind of thrive on just like an improv kind of setting and not a script. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I keep it very loose.
Mm.
The only reason I have 3 questions that I've done as part of this creator meetup series is so there was kind of consistency to that. But after we ask those 3 questions, we can go any direction you want, and I usually, based off the answers that I get, I'll ask more questions and say, hey, what about this, and how did you get to here, and that type of thing. So and even my recorded videos, it's I don't script it. I just put bullet points, and that's how I do it. And I've usually overthought it so much when I get ready to do it that it's more of relaxing than it is to getting comfortable with the content. So I'm usually very comfortable with the content. It's just a matter of relaxing and not having to keep redoing takes over. So, oh man, I did that wrong. I didn't say it the way I meant it. That kind of thing. So that's the downside. But I do, yeah.
It almost feels like with scripted content, and I know for me it always feels so stiff, which is weird because, as I said before, I've done a lot of things, not just stand up comedy. I've also done community theater, where usually if you're in a theater piece, it's all scripted.
Mm-hmm.
But but I find that once I learn the words, after I get past the word part, then I can get into the emotion of it. So I think for YouTube scripts, having bulleted items just makes it easy so that you know what you want to talk about, you know the direction you want to go in. But when you let yourself get into what they call that state of flow, I think that's when you get the most out of it, and when you can connect um, more authentically with the audience is when you're not like, oh, I gotta make sure I read this line this way, and come. It's that perfectionism trap. Yeah, you have to kind of let it go and just
Mm-hmm.
be loose with it.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Mommy guys says hi to her. Your brother says that he's got an open mic. I guess he's talking to me. He's got an open mic waiting for me in New Jersey. I just
So yeah, if you ever want to flex your stand up, and that's another great thing too. You don't have to look too far. Within any
yeah.
community, you can find like just places to perform open mics. My brother's coming to visit in a couple weeks for our Juneteenth celebration that we do here in Statesville, and I've already inquired to find a couple places that he might be able to perform.
Hmm.
So we have, hey, and even if there's not a place, what's to stop you from, doing a live creator meetup and getting
Yeah.
some online people to meet, and hey, share some of what they teach on in the public forum.
Yeah.
Hey, I might have just invented something. Who knows?
Yeah. I've been thinking about doing like a meetup like in Greenville. I was trying to find South Carolina, try to find something that's a Carolinas kind of connection. I guess it could be Charlotte and have like a bunch of, especially eCam folks, but definitely content creators in general to come and meet up. So, Tora's got another question for us. She's good at questions. What's one creative habit you didn't think mattered, but it completely changed your love for creating?
Ooh, Tora coming with the
She brings those deep questions.
she brings the juice. What is one hmm,
Maybe I need to put it back on the screen because that's a lot of thinking there.
that's what's one creative habit you didn't think that mattered that completely changed your love for creating? I think it's actually, and I do think it matters. I think that consistency element that people talk about. And I know when my brother and I first started, we were doing it on Saturday nights because again, during COVID, nobody was really going out. But once kind of things opened up and more opportunities opened up, Saturday night wasn't ideal. So we moved to Sunday, and we were doing it, I think, at a later time on Sunday, but we found it was conflicting with, I don't know, Game of Thrones or something. So we actually pushed it up to 8 o'clock on Sunday, Eastern Standard Time. And just that consistency of always doing. Now, we've missed a couple Sundays. I can't say we've done a complete streak for the last 5 years, but we have been pretty consistent. And again, I've heard it said over and over about creators about being consistent. So if you have a channel, if you are doing weekly uploads, to be consistent with those uploads. And again, you think it's a small thing, but I think it does matter, and that your audience will look for you and find you. Because I know when we miss a week because something comes up or something happens, you know, we have a few of our people who will miss us and ask about us. But I think that consistency thing is important, and when you have it and stick to it. And that's what I struggle with my channel, with my KWalk Comedy channel, is finding that consistency. I will do a run for maybe a month, and I'll try to make a video or go live on a daily basis. But like I said, I'm still struggling with the niche of that channel. So I haven't found that consistency I think is important and that is needed.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't know if my answer matters, but I was gonna say two things.
Yes, your
One,
answer matters. What's that?
I go live
What a
every
hush.
Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, no matter what. I mean, I there for almost 4 years, never missed a Tuesday.
Oh, that's
I had a
great.
couple of times where something came up, but I go live Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So that's the big thing for me. And then the other piece of that is to have my setup where I don't have to do anything but just flip a switch and I'm ready to go. So that it was a game changer for me because there for a bit I was using the same desk for work that I use for creation, and so I'd have to set everything up every time. And so
Ah,
getting rid of friction is the answer to
that is
creativity.
key.
Now I got a setup where I have a monitor. This is my creative monitor. This is my work monitor, and then the one in the middle is if I'm in work mode, it's work, and if I'm in creative mode, it's creative. So I've got three monitors on my desk with stands. I got lights up. And I do enough team calls. I can justify the lighting for that too because I like to look good on camera if I'm gonna be on camera at all. So as close as I can look good. I'm just doing what I can with it. But anyway,
I
um,
know. I like that idea, and I actually have an extra bedroom in my home,
mhm,
so that's serving as my studio. It's still not set up the way I'd ideally like to have it set up, but just having the space that's assigned and allotted to creation, I think that is important.
yep. Uh, Here's another question for you. How do you keep it real and reach different generations without losing your tone in pop culture?
Ooh, that's well, you know what? You are only going to be able to appeal and relate to things as you know it.
Hmm.
So I know I think we keep it real because we kind of take it back to stuff that we like and relate to. If we had to talk about some of the singers and performers of today, I would be lost. So I think for us, because we are older, we can relate to, um, again, a certain time period. So that's kind of where we live. So I think that keeps it real for us. Sometimes we will talk about current events as they come up in pop culture, but I got to be honest, if it comes to these young people with this trap music and this other stuff I can't relate to, I can't really talk on it. And, we are in a bit of a time warp bubble, but I don't fret because I think there are enough people who can relate and enjoy it that can keep us, help sustain us. So,
Yeah.
because you can't be you can't appeal to everyone. So our avatar is someone probably born between 1960 and 1970. So we probably won't appeal to absolutely everybody. So we might be a little niche in that department. So yeah, as far as uh modern pop culture, I don't know whether we would be able to hit all the latest trends. I couldn't even tell you some of these new actors that are out here, but, if it
Yeah.
comes to a little bit of nostalgia, then yeah, we
Yeah.
we're the podcast for you.
I'm deep into music. I would have a hard time keeping up with actors. It's finally reached the point where, and now hosted by, like Saturday Night Live is hosted by so and so. I don't know who that
Never
is.
heard of them.
Yeah, I need to go look that up. So I'm starting to feel old in that regard. But I did a. It's funny. I did a name that tune contest one time, and there was like these two teenage girls. They were competing against me, but I had been DJing for so long by that time that I knew modern all the modern songs and all the old songs too. So the DJ was like playing like a couple notes. Okay, oh that's so and so. Oh, that's Katy Perry. Oh, that's Lady Gaga. I'm like, and the girls like didn't have a
How do you
chance.
know that?
Yeah, how do you know that? So but anyway, but now, I know a few people, but Olivia Rodriguez and Sabrina
Yeah,
Carpenter
that's
and a few, but Doja Cat and yeah, but I know a few, but anyway, it's a
yeah,
challenge.
see, you're ahead of me because 'cause I'm like, "Doja who? Doja what?"
Doja
I
Cat, yeah. So
So yeah, I would know a few things. And see, when I was a DJ, it was back in the '80s. I used to carry albums, so
yeah,
I go that far back. I mean, I remember driving in cars with 8 tracks.
hmm. I had an 8-track tape player in my first car, so
Ah!
I did. Yeah, I hated when it got to
If
that
that
little
first car
section
was
in
a
the tape.
gremlin.
That little section of tape where it had that click click, go that and be like real right in the middle of a song sometimes. I'm like, could you like fix this? Why would you do that? So anyway, and then I thought it was fancy. I had a cassette player that you could push a button and it would go to the first silent moment, assuming that's the next song. It was
Oh,
so cool. I loved it. It was in my car. It was anyway.
you you
So
you were high tech. I was
yeah,
lamenting earlier today over the days of, like, Radio Shack. I'm like,
I miss Radio Shack.
I miss the Radio Shack.
Yeah.
That's
So so many so many science projects my kids can't do now because Radio Shack doesn't exist.
yeah. Well, I grew up with something called Edmond Scientific that
I've
was a
heard that.
place that had,
Yeah,
like, tons of all that kinda
yeah. So let's see what's here. Tor says, I feel a reclaiming the culture we build vibe from Kathy's channel because of all these young cats are sampling everything that was a hit from our time. That is true.
Oh, exactly.
That is true. Yeah, your brother says
This is
Gen
the
X.
samplingest
Yeah,
generation.
that's the part. Talk about singers today wouldn't go well for me. Consistency and no friction. Great advice. Thanks, Roy and Kathy. Yeah. Tora, by the way, I need to get in touch with you. I want to bring you on as a guest on this show as well.
Oh,
Cause
Tori, you're up next.
that's right. I got to get her on here because I'm like, man. So, yeah. So, what's next? What's next for your channel? What are you thinking about doing next in your content creation journey? You mentioned that you haven't figured out what your niche is yet. Are you gonna keep going what you got, or you got a plan to move to something different?
I I have a plan. What's our plan today, Pinky? Ooh, to take over the world. No, I as far as my channel, as I am winding down towards retirement, I really wanted to explore the idea of a vlog. I know it might not be the most money making thing, but I also had another channel because of all the things that I have done in my life and career, from like I said, DJing, stand up comedy, corporate accounting, and as an educator. For the year 2019, I was the North Carolina Assistant Principal of the Year. And from that, I had
Congrats.
started a podcast where I was interviewing other educators about education. But when I find education content for public school and even charter school educators, I find it to be so stiff and boring that I would love to explore just sharing things about that role into administration, because a lot of times teachers go from the classroom to administration through being an assistant or vice principal. And I really feel like there is value to sharing some of the things in that role and some of the things I've done in that role that would be of value. So on that other channel, I would really like to kind of explore that. That's not on my KWalkOMedy or Pop Culture Kids. That's another channel I have tucked away on the interwebs that I really want to explore helping people, because I feel like even in our country and the way things are going, especially with public education, since the pandemic, so many people who have been trained as educators have left
Yeah.
public education, and so many new people are actually coming in, either from other careers or other areas. So I feel like there is a need to kind of support these people and offer them just some of the things that you don't necessarily receive in a traditional education program. Not that there are that many, because
Yeah.
even in the University of North Carolina, where they used to have a really big and huge, robust um, education program. Not too many people are signing up for it, and
Hmm.
um, I can kind of understand why, as educators haven't been given top priority. So I kind of feel like there is a road to offer some support for people who are kind of new to education and new to teaching, and even for those folks who are younger and in programs, to kind of say, "Hey, this is kind of what the real world looks like, and here are some things that you need to do." And like my biggest advice for teachers, even seasoned teachers, is, you know what? Before school even starts, I would make some calls home. I don't know whether teachers think like that. Like, usually they call
Yeah.
home when something's wrong. Hey,
Hmm.
call home, introduce yourself, or at least for every call home you have to make for something negative, call 5 other kids who did great stuff that day. So just little things like that, I feel
Yeah.
like are the kind of what they call the hidden curriculum, the things that people should know and should do, but maybe might not necessarily know. So I would love to forge a space on YouTube to kind of share that knowledge and share that wisdom.
Yeah. And Tora says, "You see how smoothly Kathy relaxed in the explanation of educators. That is your niche. Bring it home, Kathy."
Oh goodness! Don't get me started talking about
Yeah.
school.
Be careful what you ask. No, I was serious, Tora. I don't know if I can keep up with your energy. You would definitely take over my show when you got here. But anyway, it sees Rona Vid 19. So many educators became comedy influencers on social media and are still going strong. So that's definitely true. And then she says Radio Shack had its own smell when you walked in. No matter what city you were in, they all smelled the same. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
It sounds like a perfume. Eau de Radio Shack.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Ooh,
what the
a
world needs.
candy fragrance.
Yeah, that's what the world needs. Yep. So, Lala says that's great plans, Kathy. So, yeah, it's that's the problem I had too, is that I'm into so many different things that I had to make a different channel for certain things because you can't turn your channel into a variety show. People just won't watch that. So I hate that because I'm like, there's even I do some software tutorials that have nothing to do with content creation, and they do well on my channel. But I'm sure people get confused when I go live and I'm talking about content creation and I'm talking with creators, because I'm very much in the mindset creators helping other creators be successful, and I love to just talk about the whole art of content creation and putting stuff together. So that's a lot of fun for me. And being I come from education a little bit, not to the level you do in any way, shape, or form, but I do love teaching in a classroom environment and seeing the light bulb go off above students' heads, and so it just kind of fits into what I do on YouTube as well. So yeah, we can't be Leonardo da Vinci on YouTube, it seems. So it's like, no, why can't we? Why can't we? So anyway, let's see. Yeah, great plans, Kathy. David, Debbie, Ryan. Hi, Roy and friends. I can't keep up with you and Matt on these channels. Yeah, that's fine. That's my headache and not yours, thankfully. Yeah, Matt's only got like 25 channels.
Well, Matt intimidates me because I keep wanting to submit my dripped and Ecamm photos, but I get intimidated by Matt's by Matt's posts. I lost one of my earplugs and I didn't even notice
sorry.
it. Anyway.
You need to find it. We can wait. Yeah.
I think it's trapped in my hair, so I don't know.
Okay. David says I have several channels. I've been neglecting them all. So, and David's so excited that you're getting feeling better, sir. So good. I was happy to see that. Yeah. So, and Matt says I don't advocate having more than one YouTube channel.
And actually, I know for me, with having Pop Culture Kids, because that actually we broadcast on my channel for years, and finally I said, you know what, we probably need to just break off, have our own channel, and that way we can just support and grow from there. But the only thing is, it is all lives and maybe a few shorts, but we haven't done any like pre-recorded videos. So as far as what's next for Pop Culture Kids, I would love for us to do like just pre-recorded video content that again, that would take my brother and I kind of hashing out and what we would want to share and what we would want to. And the problem too is when you're dealing with pop culture and having copyright issues, and depending on what you want to talk about or what you want to show.
Right. Yeah, to that regard, let's see, there's a couple of comments here. Denise says it's so interesting how so many educators turn to content creating. I came from education too. So,
I think when you're an educator or when you have that passion to teach, and content creation seems like such an easy step because you're already used to kind of teaching and sharing. And basically, that's what content creators do. I believe it's all about teaching and sharing. It's like, hey, here's this thing I know how to do, and come watch me do it.
Yeah. Matt says no. Please post a drip and Ecamm photo, Kathy. Please. And Mommy God says, hey David, yes, celebrate with full recovery. Yay. Yeah. Tora says she's subscribed to your channel right after this. We got to talk about that. So I want to show your channel off so people know about it. So hang on. As I find the scene I didn't put in my let's see, there it is. Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool. Oh, nope, not that one. It's this one. There we go. All right, here we go. This is KWalkOMedy. So definitely want to watch her on Sunday nights. Her and her brother. The show is hilarious. I love you guys. I love the spirited debates you guys have about different movies. I love your top 5 and top 10 list as you go back and forth of what's the top Tom Hanks movie and what's the different. So I like that, and the news as well.
The problem is, Kenny, I work on like the visuals and all the Ecamm settings, kind of producing backstage. Kenny actually works on the list, so I might have a favorite Tom Hanks movie like Castaway, and he won't even put it on the list because he doesn't like it. I don't get it. That's what having a little brother will do to you.
Yeah, and there is
Val's in the house.
Yep, there's a link to her channel, in the description. So please go out and subscribe to her channel. You also post it also on his channel as well, don't you?
I don't
Sometimes.
I actually right, I stream to my channel as well as
Okay.
Pop Culture Kids. So Pop
Okay.
Culture Kids with a K because it's
Yeah.
Kathy and Kenny because my
Yeah.
parents thought that'd be cute. Um,
Yep.
uh, so Kathy and Kenny is I'm sorry, it used to be Kathy and Kenny Explain Pop Culture, but that was too long for a YouTube channel. So we are just Pop Culture Kids because that's what we
Yep.
talk about. Pop culture
Yep.
with a K.
Let's see. I put my positive and productive and my poetry and music all on my one channel. Should I make separate channels? Well, if the YouTube wisdom supposedly is that yes, you should make each channel about a specific thing. It's tough. Hey Valerie, hey fam. It's really tough. I had the hardest time doing that because I'm like, I want to be able to just post what I want to post, but if you are trying to get monetized, so you can at least pay for the all the junk you buy to make a YouTube channel these days. Hey Roy and Kathy, because I
Well, I don't
subscribe
know. I
to
think
all kind of junk.
to Kenny's question too, but if the positive and productive because he is sending it out on several different platforms and I think he does TikTok, X, and Instagram and Facebook. Like it goes out to so many different platforms. If he's trying to build his brand, to me, if that positive and productive message is a part of his brand, I think it can be on the same YouTube channel that he does put his poetry and different live performances on. Now, I know he Pop Culture Kids, it's on its own channel, so that's
Yeah,
not, a part of that brand, but I think, yeah, you don't need a separate I wouldn't do a separate channel, Candy. That's just my opinion. But I know
yeah,
I catch it whenever I catch it on whatever form I see it on. So if I get an alert on Instagram, I'll watch it on Instagram, or if I catch it on Facebook, I'll watch it on Facebook.
yeah. I'd like to get Valerie on my channel too, but she's too famous. Uh,
Just don't ask her about movies because,
yeah.
she hasn't seen it. Oh, I'm sorry, Val, I didn't mean to call you out. Oh,
Yeah. So yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. So yeah, everybody, you definitely got to go out and subscribe to the Kathy's channel and the Pop Culture Kids.
Pop Culture Kids.
With the
So
K, that's the important part. So yeah,
right.
Lala put a link out there for us. Let's go. So she's got a link out there. I need to go put that one in the. I'll put that one in the description as well, so you guys find it. But if you're in the chat now, it's there now. You can go click on it and go subscribe. Um, and so yeah. Anyway, Kathy, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I really do appreciate it. It's been an honor to
Thank
have you on the
you.
show.
Thank
I
you so
really,
much for having me. It's like,
yeah,
oh, this is pretty cool, especially being a part of like a creator community
yeah,
and, other people that I know from the chat and having met you at Creator Camp, Team Royals, yay. But
yeah, Team
anyway,
Royals.
it's just it's kind of nice to know that there are others who have similar struggles who might not have the million subscriber counts or views, but that yes, we're in this together. We can help each
Yeah,
other out. We can learn something from each other, however small or whatever tidbit. Hopefully, someone will take away. Who knows? Maybe they will look into an improv class in their local community, or maybe get involved in some community theater or Toastmasters or something just to improve their presentation or how they show up on camera. So, if that's inspiring to you, or just to know that you're not the only one who has millions of SD cards filled with film that you can't edit either. Uh, we get a little bit of support in that kind of struggle that we're all on
yeah,
the same struggle bus, but that we get to ride together. So I'm just happy to be a part of this community, to ride with folks like you and Val and Tora and Lala and you know I feel like this is another whole family or community that
yeah.
I get to be a part of, and that's exciting.
I completely agree with that because what's that? The tide lifts all ships.
Oh, yes.
I very much like, look, let's all be supportive and support each other. And what do you need? And what do you need? And how can I help? And how can you help? And just everybody, helping each other out. So that's so important to me. I'll have folks reach out to me, and I'll reach out to folks and say, hey, how you do this? And, oh, yeah, I'm going to show you. They're so sharing. They're so caring. They're so giving. They're so encouraging. And so, that's what my goal here on this channel is about, is encourage others to be who they want to be and to create that content. It doesn't matter what your content's about. We all struggle with gear and software and everything, cameras and mics and all that. So, yeah.
And isn't that the beauty of live? You just keep going. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know when the other thing fell out of my ear. At one point, and maybe that's an old age thing, because I'm like, why am I just hearing stuff in one ear? I can't only hear in one ear, baby. I felt like, am I going crazy? But no, you just keep rolling with it.
You lean
Keep
in.
rolling.
You lean into the mistakes and just keep going. That's the way I always look at it. So, yeah. All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. Again, Kathy, thank you so much. Everybody you got to go subscribe to Kathy's channel. And because she's just so awesome anyway. And her and her brother, their antics together are excellent. And so you'll get a big kick out of that. So thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, I would be humbled if you would subscribe. But even more so, I'd love for you to just hit that like button. Yeah, hit that like button and go off and subscribe to Kathy's channel. That's your call to action. Subscribe to Kathy's channel and hit the like button on this video. So thank you so much. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. One of these buttons is my outro. Yeah, here we go. Bye.